Well, I just did a thing. What you see behind me is a 2005 Cadillac STS. And I just picked it up for $710. The daughters of the deceased owner called me on his 62 Thunderbird, but this was parked out in front. I'm going to try to daily drive this thing for $710. It's a highly optioned car. So stay tuned and I'll take you through it. All right. So welcome to my new daily driver for $710. It's a 2005 Cadillac STS, which was the fancy new name for the Seville. This is one of the first production cars that was built at the end of 2004. And it's significant in the Cadillac world because it was the first rear-wheel drive Seville dating back to 1980. Cadillac was really trying hard in the mid-2000s to compete with the Germans. And their wonderful Sigma platform is rear-wheel drive. So you could get this car in V6 or V8 form with rear-wheel drive standard, all-wheel drive optional. This particular model has the 3.6-liter high-feature V6, double overhead cam, and provides decent power. And it is, as far as I'm concerned, the more desirable rear-wheel drive. I don't need all-wheel drive. That's what I have a Cayenne for. More on that later. This car is a 4-owner car. I believe I'm now the 5th owner. And it just turned 85,000 miles. So why was it only $710? Well, unfortunately, Cadillacs of this era, despite being very good cars and a completely, step up of their game in terms of interiors, the aforementioned powertrain, the V6 is known for timing chain stretch, and the V8, the North Star, some would call it the Death Star, pre-2005 have head bolt issues. And so those scare people off, and that's just killed the depreciation on these cars. The daughters of the deceased owner of this car first reached out to me Thanksgiving of 2024 about his 62 Thunderbird hardtop. That will be the subject of a separate video. But parked behind that outside, it was this car. They called me in November. I went over there, tried to start the Thunderbird, and they said, well, we don't have title to any of the cars. We're in probate. As soon as we get that, we'll give you a shout. Fast forward to May 2025. They now have title to the cars. And so when I went back over there, I really took a notice to this car as I'd have to move it. And when I got in it, I realized it's a nice car. I looked it up on CarMax, and CarMax is only offering $800, even though it's an accident-free car, according to the Carfax, with only 85,000 miles. So I proposed to the daughters. I said, well, since you're both from out of town, Carfax is about 35 minutes away. You're looking at wasting the better part of an afternoon to get $800 for this car and walk away. I said, I'll take it off your hands for $710. Why 710? 710 is Nurse Nancy's lucky number. And so I just thought it would be a good karma to do that. Now, before I gave them the $700, I said, let me take it for a ride, make sure there's nothing crazy with it, because we may want to wholesale it. I took it out for a shakedown cruise around the village of Flemington, New Jersey, and no noises, no pulling, brakes are fine. Drove it around, couldn't find anything really wrong with it mechanically. Put it up on my lift back in my house, and the undercarriage, the suspension points, the hard points have surface rust. Now's the time to take care of that. See that in an upcoming video, what I'll do there. And didn't see anything wrong. It's a very solid car. And I jumped at it. I'm going to make this my daily driver. Now, if you follow the channel, you know I have a 2006 Porsche Cayenne S, and love that car. That is my forever car. However, since I've been using it as a daily driver the past year, it now has 212,000 miles on it, and there's some deferred maintenance on it. And with just my busy schedule, I keep deferring it because I don't want to get into it and then I have to rush to put the car back together. Using this as a daily driver puts the pressure off the Cayenne. I can fix the leaks and make the videos, and if it takes me 2 or 3 days, so be it. All right, so what I needed to do was make sure this car would be good enough for daily drive. So I took it around town, did a shakedown cruise. I had to jumpstart the battery. Obviously, it had been sitting for 6 months. And then on Sunday, a couple days after I bought it, I decided to put an interstate battery in. It had died overnight on Sunday morning. And I said, okay, I'm not going to keep jumpstarting this. So I did replace the 3-year-old diehard battery in here with an interstate battery from my local Costco for $119. Speaking of batteries, the key fobs seem to be in need of the 2032 hockey puck batteries, so I bought those. And that's all I had to do to get the car back on the road. On Monday, so yesterday, I did a 100-mile shakedown cruise with my commute, and car performed flawlessly. The only thing I noticed is the rearview mirror vibrates at highway speeds, but other than that, very quiet car. I'm going to enjoy driving this, and I'm planning to take this in 2 weeks to Charlotte. So from Jersey to Charlotte and back, that's roughly 1,200 miles, round trip, road trip. What a perfect car for a highway road trip like that, to celebrate Father's Day with all my kids and grandson. So what did I have to do to get back on the road? Well, all it needed really was the battery and a good cleaning. If you've ever seen a car that's just been sitting for about 1.5 years outside, particularly, especially here in the Northeast, under a tree, you tend to get a lot of tree sap, a lot of mud that just builds up. And no question that the deceased owner took care of the car, but you can't leave anything outside for close to 2 years by my estimate and expect the car to be still clean. So over the weekend, I went through the car, steam cleaned the interior to get it to this point. Really didn't need that much of anything. The tan floor mats being the trickiest, that I power washed and steam cleaned those. But the exterior paint I really needed to bring back to life. So when I got the car home, I used a power washer to get the nearly 2 years of heavy dirt off the exterior. Once I power washed it, I then hand washed it with a very soapy water to get all the nooks and crannies and get all the remaining loose dirt off, because it was just sheeting. Once that was done, I used a mother's clay bar to clay the entire exterior. From there, I moved on to Griot's polishing compound with my Griot's DA buffer with an orange pad. Once I did that on the car, I used Griot's polishing compound and sealer. That's even finer than their regular polishing compound, but it also seals the paint. It's a combination. So whatever I missed, swirl marks or scratch-wise, there was a tremendous. What I liked about it was the paint did not have any swirl marks in it. So I believe this was just hand washed. And judging by the cleaning supplies he had in the Thunderbird in this car, he liked to hand wash his cars. So once I got the car polished, it was ready, and it really popped. The only exterior defects, the driver's side rocker molding is scuffed up, and somebody must have dented the front lower valence, as there's a piece of black tape on it. I'm not going to worry about those 2 cosmetic items right now. I want to see how well this does. The Achilles heel on these with the V6, they claim heavy oil consumption, and if you don't change the oil frequently enough, it'll lead to timing chain stretches. A double overhead cam motor, and it's a fairly complex setup. It's not an interference motor, so if the chain starts stretching, you'll start getting a bunch of check engine lights indicating the chain is stretched. And so the Carfax revealed the oil was changed fairly often, but it was probably related to the watching the oil monitor, which they say you shouldn't rely on the oil monitor in car's computer. And I plan to change the oil every 3,000 on this. The other thing I've noticed is the one PCV valve. People say you need to open that up. That'll be the subject of a future video because the theory is it doesn't give enough crankcase ventilation, and that forces the crankcase pressure to increase, and it increases oil consumption. So I'll be looking at that fairly soon. Other than that, my first drive yesterday, 100 miles round trip. I'm getting about 26 on the highway with it, and probably 17 or 18 around town. And it uses, it can run on 87. I don't have to put premium in it. So it's just I think it's a hell of a buy for $710, and we'll see how long it lasts. But I think it likes the way I'm treating it right now so far, and it's a comfortable car, and that's what I plan to do with it. So look for some future videos on this car, and this will free me up to get some long overdue grind time videos done on my Cayenne S as well as my Boxster. So always, never a dull moment in the Guys with Rides garage. So that's the latest and greatest. If you enjoyed this video, please press the like button, and and if you haven't considered already, I encourage you to subscribe and comment, as that helps the algorithm and to get this video out and my channel known to other people out there. So thank you for watching. Get out there and drive, and we'll see you soon. Thanks for watching this video. Please press the like and subscribe button, comment below, and be sure to check out our other videos on this subject, as well as all of the great content on our YouTube channel. If you have any questions, you can call me at the number listed below, or be sure to check out our main website, GuysWithRides.com.